Hello, it's Ben Cooper here again from Literacy Waggle, and today we're looking at student-pupil interactions. I'm an assistant principal in a primary school, and regularly I do lots of learning walks or observations. Last week I just sat in the library and observed lots of different teachers coming in and out in the way that they interacted with pupils, and identified three different ways, or three effective ways, that the teachers interacted with their pupils, or that learning interactions were happening within those sessions. So what I want to talk to you about today is the different types of learning interactions that can happen in your classroom and why you might want to use them. So learning interaction 1 is teacher to pupil interaction. This is where a teacher in the classroom actively seeks out interaction with pupils. They may rotate around the classroom, speaking to different pupils, asking them questions. They may actively go and work with a group. The teacher is forcing themselves out onto the pupils to ensure that they are interacting with the pupils and guiding their learning. This is really effective when you want to ensure and assess all of the children. It's great to rotate around the tables, pick up on what the children are finding difficult and pick up on what the children have achieved. It's really great for assessment. It's really great for pushing the children's learning on and ensuring that all the children are on task. The downside to this is that some pupils just want to get on with something. So occasionally you may see a pupil that gets a bit irritated by the fact that they're constantly being asked questions because really they just want to get on with the activity and achieve. And sometimes, if not done correctly, teacher to pupil interactions can actually hinder the progress because it stops and pauses the learning momentarily. Sometimes that pupil may lose their train of thought, or they may actually lose focus of what they're trying to achieve. Particularly in writing, where they might be thinking of a sentence, the teacher asks them about a previous sentence, and then the pupil has to redirect their thinking back to what they were writing, by which time they may have actually forgotten what they were trying to achieve. So there are pros and cons to teacher to pupil interactions. The second type of learning interaction is pupil to teacher. So this is where the pupil seeks out an interaction with a teacher or a learning support or a teaching assistant. I've seen great teaching and learning methods where pupils have gone to a help desk where the teacher sits. The teacher doesn't seek out interaction with pupils, they wait for the pupils to decide when they need that help. This builds independence. The pupil then gets an opportunity to self-help, to think about how they might want to solve a problem, and then if they're really stuck, they then seek out the support of a teacher or an adult in the classroom. The pupil will also then decide when they want to access a guided group, when they want to collaborate with someone else. And so the pupil has the ownership, and like I said before, it develops their independence. The problem with this is, as a teacher, you don't get a good view of the whole class. And so it isn't great necessarily for assessing the whole children and figuring out what they are finding difficult, on what they're finding quite easy, or what they're achieving. However, what it does do is it allows the pupil to make that choice, and so they're not constantly being pestered by the teacher. It gives them a little bit of independence and ownership to decide when they need that support. And the final learning interaction that I identified was pupil to pupil. Now this is kind of a slightly more advanced step where the pupils are empowered to interact with each other. So rather than going to the teachers for support, the pupil may actually go to a different pupil for support. Strategies like expert learners identify children that are experts in that field, and the pupil knows that if they go to that child, they have a really good subject knowledge of that skill. So if a child is really good at spelling, you might say they're an expert speller, or if a child is really good at a certain mathematical method, you might say that they're an expert at that. So pupils know that they can go to that child to ask for help. Likewise, what this is really good at is allowing the expert learner to deepen their knowledge because they have to explain it and become the teacher. This is really high level stuff, and so sometimes our expert learners need a bit of support of how to teach their pupils. After all, we trained for a long time to be teachers, and so we need to teach the pupils how to be teachers, how to support pupils without giving the answer away. But pupil to pupil interactions can be really, really powerful if used in the right way. And so those are our three learning interactions, and what's really important to remember is actually all three of them are equally as useful. Sometimes it's really beneficial for a teacher to go around and get a whole view of all the pupils in the class and how all the children are achieving. But likewise, it's sometimes really powerful to just sit back and allow children to come to you if they need support at a help desk or in a guided group. And building on that, it's also really powerful to allow the pupils to interact with each other through discussions and through support networks within the classroom. Collaboration is a really powerful tool. And so now go back into your classroom, see how often you use each of them. See if you prefer or use teacher to pupil interactions more than pupil to teacher interactions. See how you can challenge yourself to adapt and use all three equally at the appropriate times in your lessons. See what you notice, see the difference. I hope this video has been useful. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where we upload lots of videos like this supporting you as a teacher and your professional development. Visit our website where we provide lots of literature resources. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a really good day.